everyone, and welcome to another episode of Standing 8. I'm Paul Fitzgerald. I'm joined by my co-host, three-time world champion and Boxing Hall of Famer Jeff Fennick.
Always great to be here.
And the voice of Australian boxing, Ben Damon.
G'day Paul, good to be here mate. Really special guest today. We've got a former Rugby League international, a former Australian heavyweight champion as well, and one of the most notorious and controversial figures in the history of Australian sport, John Hopoate. Hoppa, how you going mate?
Good, and thanks for having me.
Staying out of trouble?
Yeah, at this stage.
Listen, guys.
So far today.
Love him or don't. You've got to. I mean, people talk about Floyd Mayweather, and listen, the thing that I love, I've told you guys before, the thing I love about Floyd, whether he can fight it or if he can't, what you see is what you get. And this guy on my right, what you see is what you get. He's not going to tell you, or pretend he's something that he's not in there.
No doubt about that.
I love people like that. That's what happened. Great to have you with us, mate.
Thank you, mate.
Great.
So when did you guys first meet? How long have you guys known each other for?
Well, I've known, he didn't know me, I've known Jeff since I was a kid.
Well, of course, I've known Hopper because I'm a mad rugby league fan. I've also, supported and watched, and then he boxed. But we met times then. Again, mutual friend, John, working up the cross with John, and like I said, Hopper and I are both very, very close friends of John. So we've like crossed paths many times before, but also he fought Bob Mirovic, and I trained Bob for a little while there, and that was an amazing, not just an opportunity for Hopper, but it was an amazing performance by him to beat the Australian champion. And I had Bob really, really fit. The only thing was that Hopper took away one of his weapons, one of his arms, broke one of them.
It was a brutal fight.
It was crazy.
I gloves, I would have taken his ass too.
Well, you wouldn't believe this, guys. Me trying to think that I've always been tough, fighting with a sore hand and stuff. Bob Mirovic came back to me after a couple of rounds, like complaining that Hopper had just tackled him on the floor and he'd hurt his arm. So in no uncertain terms, me trying to motivate Bob, and knowing what he had to do, he had to be motivated to beat Hopper because Hopper was jumping all over him. Like, come on, Bob, you've got two arms, you can't use them both. And I kept, pushed him through this, and he was, he was acting as if, not acting, he was in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
And I wasn't
sure.
He
had a broken arm.
Yeah, well, I didn't know until I seen the X-ray the next day. His arm, the bone was broken off. And I'm thinking, wow, what a prick I am. What a prick of a trainer I am.
You must have known Hopper that he was gone, that one of his arms was gone.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
And then I was trying to hurt him more. I was trying to break him more.
Trying to twist it a bit more.
I had to fight dirty. If Bob sat back and boxed, would have boxed my head.
Well, if you let him box, that's right.
If I let him box, which I didn't. I had to get in there and fight dirty. I was throwing little headbutts. I was throwing little elbows because I had to put him off his game.
Yeah.
Because if he sat back and boxed, he would have destroyed me.
Yeah, we'll get into your whole story. There's a lot to talk about through the course of the chat. But what was it like as a kid for you? What was John Ibrahime's childhood like? We don't really hear about that. We've never really heard about that.
Well, I've always been a bit of a rat bag. I got kicked out of a few schools when I was a kid. I was lucky I had Bob Forden, who got me to Manly. I was 100% I would have been locked up. He saved me. I went a couple of times to court, and my barrister told me I was definitely doing 69 for this thing we did on the train one time. And then if it wasn't for Bob coming as my character witness, I'd have been locked up, and then I wouldn't have had a first grade career. So I owe a lot of my career to Bob.
Tell you what, mate, you wouldn't have had 11 kids either.
I think I would have still had 11 kids.
I mean, that's a massive family.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, right. Well, so Bob was obviously a significant influence. Did you have other people like that who stayed around through the course of your rugby league career, or did you find yourself without those people at times?
No, I was just lucky I had my mum.
Yeah.
Who just bashed me all the time for, every time I got in trouble. My mum and my mum's auntie who still slaps me now with shoes, with sticks. I'm 46 years old, so I still get whacked.
Right.
If she sees me on the news. They've always been there.
But it hasn't worked, has it?
Yeah.
Right.
It works for that.
You've been hit a fair bit.
For a day. Yeah, right.
Until she leaves. But
Yeah, right. How do you look back on your rugby league career? An incredible career. You achieved pretty much everything you can as a rugby league player, but there were so many controversial incidents. When you look back, are you proud of what you did? Or
I wouldn't be the person who I am if I wouldn't change anything.
Nothing.
Maybe anything I'd change, I would like to have finished on my own terms instead of the league kicking me out of the comp. But I wouldn't change anything. The finger thing, people still know me because of the finger. I took this game global. They should have paid me. The league should have paid me for taking the global because.
Well, I love the T-shirt because you got the
finger. It's my brand. So.
Yeah.
Did you make a decision around that time that you had to embrace that? Otherwise, it would have got to you. Like if you didn't like that part of what you did, then it would have become a thing, and it would
have driven me nuts.
Yeah.
Well, it's not more than it's just laugh about it, laugh at yourself, and that's what.
Is that what it is?
At that stage when it first came, everyone was hammering me and that, but then I thought if I'm just going to hide away and get angry people that everyone brings it up, I'll be miserable for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
What were you thinking?
Was it just fights in your way? That's for sure.
Yeah.
Was it just trying to get under your opponent's skin, just a little niggle?
Yeah, well,
literally.
As soon as someone's touches your ass, you try and move, and every time I went near your ass, they dropped. They dropped to the ground. So I was pretty much slowing the play the ball down because they didn't try to run or try enough. They just dropped because they didn't want.
Well, I've got to tell Hop this story because I think I've told on the podcast. Hop, I was at a party once with Tyson. We were in Phoenix, Arizona, and talking about fingers and stuff. This girl that was going out with Shaquille O'Neal, in a rage, said, "Anyway, you do nothing for me. Your penis is only like the size of your finger." And I thought, wow, he must, like I'm thinking he's got a small penis. I looked at his bloody hands, Hop, and his 3 fingers were that big. And I said, well, just as well you're that big, brother. But that's a true story. That's a true story. I looked at his hands and I'm thinking, wow. And then I saw his fingers that you just hold the basketball. And I'm like, yeah, he's all right. He's hung well.
It's your penis fingers.
Yeah. What about the players who were, essentially the victims of that? Have you ever spoken with any of them about it?
Well, Paul Bowman, who was one that first came out.
He was quite outspoken.
He was one of my. He became one of our trainers for our Tongan team.
Okay.
So we went from foes to bros, and I took a photo of him bending over, and that was the first time I met him. So he turned around and bent over, so I take a photo. But no one really.
So with him, for example, did you apologise to him at any point?
Oh, not really.
No.
By the time I met him, I thought it was funny.
Yeah, right.
And so he just embraced it. He laughed. So,
okay.
Yeah, that's funny.
What did you get? I think you got 12 weeks suspension for the
12 weeks.
Yeah,
12 weeks.
Yeah.
But as I said, I took this game global, so everyone should have thanked me because people in India were talking about me.
Yeah.
No one from India watches rugby league.
Are you surprised looking back that you only got 12 weeks? Like now, you'd think it would be that's a career ending.
Guys are grabbing each other's nuts, and they got 2 weeks. I got 12 for touching an ass.
Yeah.
Well, one of your stats, Hopper, is you got 45 weeks suspension over your 13 first grade seasons. So that was a record in itself, I think.
Yeah, 45, and I had 20 from Manly, just in-house suspensions from Manly. So it's 65.
65,
games.
yeah. Wow.
So I had 20 first grade games I could have played that Manly suspended me in-house with this stuff that I did.
You say you don't regret anything, but what about the Keith Galloway shot?
No, I don't regret that either.
You don't?
I wish it was a little bit lower, but no. If it was in the 70s, if I was a generation before, I would have been a hero.
Yeah, look at Paul Ellery Hanley. Yeah, I'm just saying things change. I played rugby league all my life too, and it's a tough man's game. And it's changed today. It's changed a lot. And look at the tackle that Alan McMahon done on the Newtown blow when he picked him up and speared him in the ground. What happened to him today?
Yeah,
he'd get life.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nice.
Oh no, I'd done a few of them tackles during the year, and that one just went. I just misread
timing,
mistimed it, and got him in the head, which I didn't mean to.
But it did mean that you weren't able to go out on your own terms, and you weren't allowed to.
Yeah.
So on that level, do you regret it?
No, because then I got the box.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I got the box, and I was lucky enough to win the Australian Championship. So if I never did that tackle, I never got kicked out of the game, or never have boxed in my life.
We're speaking about the controversial bits, but what about what was the best moment of your rugby league career?
I win the grand final.
Yeah.
You train with these guys 24/7, 7 days a week, and to win the grand final, that's the pinnacle. You play for Australia, which I did, play for New South Wales, but you ask any player, grand final tops all of them.
Yeah, it's with your brothers, with your team,
your
brotherhood. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
It's funny, when we think of State of Origin, we always think back to the 1995 State of Origin when you were punching on with your teammate.
No, it wasn't.
On the sideline.
Yeah.
But that's one of the most iconic state of origin sort of biffs of the modern era of rugby league.
Yeah, well, he was my teammate at Manly.
At Manly, yeah.
Not at that
game,
yeah. I hate when it's origin time, I hate Queenslanders.
Yeah.
They're the best, but a lot of my Queenslanders are my best mates.
Yeah.
But come Queensland time, origin time, they're not. And he only came in to stop it anymore. He came in to stop because me and Matty Singh were sort of pushing and shoving. He came in to stop it. And I just said, let me go, Danny.
Yeah.
He's Hoppa. So I just started punching him because he had a maroon jersey on.
Yeah.
That's why you're all black today. Told the boys, wear black shirts today, boys. That's why Ben was late. He had a maroon shirt. That's why we got the change him pop.
Fantastic memories in rugby league and in boxing. Winning the Australian title would be the highlight.
Yeah, 100%. And as I said, Bob, he had over 50 fights.
Yeah.
I had 9. And
I think Bob fought Joe Bugner. He's fought everybody. So for this guy to just to put some gloves on and do what he done, it was totally amazing. You know?
And even the start of your boxing career, you made your debut on the biggest card maybe that we've ever seen with Danny Green and Anthony Mundine. That's a massive opportunity and would have been so exciting for you.
Yeah, it was. You know, it was first time I ever been nervous because I don't really get nervous and stuff like that. But that was the first time because only because first time jumping in the ring, I didn't want to. People were looking at me, there's that bell. I hope this guy smashes him. I didn't want to lose because everyone's watching. And
you're pretty lucky as well. You had a great guy, Dino Billinghurst, who's one of the nicest guys in the sport of boxing.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Lovely
have
bloke.
somebody there that
Knew what he was doing,
he cares about. Yeah, he knew what 100%. He's been in the ring, he's fought, and it makes you feel better.
Did you have that feeling as well? You didn't want to come across as a rugby league player and then look ordinary boxing. You wanted to show that you could do it.
Yeah, I did, but also I just didn't want to lose with the amount of people watching.
Yeah.
Because there would have been
Big
a lot of people bagging me more. I'll get bagged all my life, but I just didn't want to lose.
But you don't seem to care that you get bagged.
Oh, no, not really, because the media hammer me all the time. But what they don't see is I love it because the more they keep me in the media, I've been retired. Or they kicked me out of the game now 15 years. People still know who I am because the media keep hammering me. But the more people that hammer me, the more the media hammer me, the more people know me, and I still get stuff for free.
Yeah.
Any publicity is good publicity.
But yeah, and when you got 11 kids, you take everything for free.
And all that notoriety probably helped you with your life after, while you were still boxing a little bit, but certainly after your professional rugby league career with your job via John Ibrahim, that the profile that you had led to that employment?
Yeah, well, I met John a couple of times when I was playing.
Yeah.
Because I've known Tongan Sam since when I was 15, 16, I was going in the cross and I was going in the nightclubs and Tongan Sam used to look after. He knew I was on the age and he used to look after me. And that's how I first met John through Tongan Sam, and then it just ended up working for him. Best boss I've ever had.
What would be on your business card when you were working for John Ibrahim? What was your role?
Well, I don't actually know my roles.
It was diverse, was it?
So I was there to look after these clubs, but more when gangsters run into each other.
Right.
Because I was the middleman trying to stop it all because they all knew.
And they respect you.
Yeah, they all knew I
100%.
played, and then it sort of turned away from worrying about fighting. I talk about boxing or I talk about footy. And
Isn't that crazy that can happen when you two guys want to tear each other's heads apart and they see somebody who they've known and been in the sport and they respect and they know that he's a hard guy or he's paved the way for others and they can say, listen guys, don't do it, he's not take away, and they do, they take it away,
and they do,
and that's what John was doing.
I've ran a lot of bikers and that, champion blokes, but just when they're in the crew, they have to show, they have to make noise, but they knew. Like I was good to everyone, but just don't try and put them because I won't take any of your crap.
Well, when we had John on the podcast, he said you diffused a lot of situations in the cross because a lot of people followed your career, looked up to you, you were able to use your sporting personality, notoriety to calm a few situations down.
Yeah, and it did. When I got there, it did stop. As I said, they talked about footy or when they knew who I was, and they talked about my son who played with Will at the time. Or
they go from
boxing.
being hot-headed to being able to talk to somebody, to relate to somebody, and that's, a smart move by John.
Yeah.
But still, there would have been a lot of hairier moments where you weren't able to diffuse situations. Some of them came out publicly, but there would have been other moments, I'm sure.
Well, then the only hairy one I had was when John was about to have a fight with his own brother Sam, And I was just, they're brothers. I was standing next to John, and Sam came over because Sam didn't listen to John because we were standing in front of one of John's clubs, and Sam went to walk in, and John put his hand out, and Sam went and hit his hand and went, "This piece of little shit." And he walked down the stairs. And he walked down, he went to the bar, grabbed drinks, grabbed the money out of the till, and he walked out the back. So we were at the back, and I was standing next to John, then Sam came and went to sort of brush John. I was sort of on this. And he went, "What the hell are you doing, Hop?" And he walked to his car, and when he walked to his car, I thought, I'm gone. I'm gone.
What's going to happen?
Yeah. Then he just
You
came
thought
back.
he was coming back with Ben Damon.
Something like that.
But when you just walked opened the door and he went and listened, and he came back and he just looked at me and he jumped in the car and drove off.
Okay.
Again, that's because he respected you, mate.
Yeah, but then he rang me 2 minutes later and said, I said, "Sorry, mate, I was just trying to stop you as brothers." And he goes, "You did the right thing, Hop. You did the right thing." And he goes, "I'm sorry for doing that, but I'm not angry at you, I'm angry at him."
Yeah, right. And how long did you have that role with John?
Nearly 10 years.
Right.
I had the best job in the world.
Yeah.
So I got paid to go out and look after his clubs, and he was the best boss I've ever had.
Why is that? Why do you say he was
It
the
was
best boss?
just for his stature. He, everyone knew John has been this hard guy, but he's such a nice bloke.
He is.
He gave his time to anyone that asked for a photo or anyone to talk to him. He always gave his time. But at the same time, he would not take no crap from anyone that came in and tried to put it on him. But he was just nice, and if he was angry at someone, he wouldn't put them on show. He would take them to the side and tell them off.
He would tell them, "Listen, you got a chance, just walk and go home now. Don't cause a problem. If you want to cause a problem, we can accommodate the problem." And he gave everybody that opportunity.
Yeah, and he looked after me. Because I could go and footy stuff with my kids and he'll still pay me. And if there was any hairy stuff that they wanted done, he'll say, "Hop, you're here. You're a family man. You're just here to come look after my clubs. I don't need you to worry about any of that stuff." But yeah, he was the best boss I've ever had. He's a real gentleman and a real nice bloke.
Getting back to rugby league for a second, you're probably one of the first of the big wingers in rugby league. You know, you could have played second row or lock with your size. How do you think the game's changed over the years from what it used to be with the Sturlos and whatnot running around to your era to now?
Well, the wingers, I can say I pretty much changed the way wingers play, because when I went to the Tigers, I was doing 15 to 18 hit-ups a game. And then teams started seeing the wingers doing it, because when I first came in, the only time a winger touched the ball was a winger in off a tap, and that was you just stay on the wing. You never got involved. It was just the forwards. But when I started doing it, everyone does it now. The back three get the most meters and the most hit-ups a game. And I'd like to say it was probably from the way I played when I changed it when I went to the Tigers.
It's about bloody time those wingers done something.
You must be proud too, Hop, about the Pacific Islander influence in the NRL at the moment. They're like dominant in the game nowadays, and you were a big part of sort of the not the beginning, but a formative part of that.
Yeah, well, there's 50%, I think, in the NRL. There's 68% in the junior league, in the juniors coming up.
And most of them are your kids.
That's true.
All related.
But just, and the way we've been going as Tonga as a team, you know, we've beaten Australia, New Zealand and Great Britain, the top
Incredible,
three.
Yeah.
And, you know, no one would have thought we'll ever do that. And I have to put that down to Jason Tamalolo and Andrew Feed, you know, when they rang around all the other Tongan boys and said, "Listen, we're going to Tonga. Are we going?" And they all just stuck together. And they changed, missed out a lot of the amount of money they missed out on to play for New Zealand or Australia was massive. To come back and play for the Islands and you get a handshake, you get nothing.
But it must mean a lot to the people
massive.
of Tonga in particular.
Yeah, and these kids are kings back in the islands, and a few of them got. I mean, their last World Cup, a few of them got. The king gave them pieces of land.
Oh, right.
Just for putting us on the map.
Yeah, right. Have you got one?
Yeah, I got a few from my parents, but I never got one from
No,
them.
well, for him.
I wish I did.
Do you
I'll
go
give
back
him a
there
call
much?
for you. Hop.
Do you go to Tonga much?
No. Well, the last time I went to Tonga was '94 with the Pacific Cup, played for Tonga. And then I went back in 2017 after the World Cup. That was
Yeah, right.
That was the first time my son went there, and he loves it.
Who was the best player you played with?
Best player I played with, I'd have to say Cliffy Lyons.
The toughest?
Oh, tough as Jeff Tuvey.
Good on you, mate. I love him. Yeah. I think he's like I said. I tell everybody he's the toughest player that I've ever seen.
He's pound for pound toughest.
Yeah.
Because he would smash people.
Got smashed.
He would get off, come off the game and just lay down because he was just battered.
Yeah.
His body was just battered. So and Cliffy was a smart. Cliffy, as soon as the defense attack started coming towards him, he'll just go. He just whistle the tubes to swap. So he'll go in and tubes do all the tackling. He was just too smart. But he had to be the toughest. But the best player I played with, I'd say Cliffy.
Smart.
Got it. Was it a natural progression to get into boxing after rugby league for you?
Yeah, well, as I said, so much you learn. You know, you don't just go out there and you punch because you get punched too, and you got to try and stay relaxed and try and work your game plan. Because when I first sparred, as soon as I got hit, everything is out the window. You just want to kill this bloke. But you know, you got to give it these guys because they got to stay relaxed. You got to move your head. You got to know when you punch. You got to sort of read their game too, and that was all hard for me when I first started. These guys have been doing it for years, and it's just like league. You got to read if they're working for something. You sort of pick it up and you work on their where they're not strong at. And it was just hard. It was very hard to pick up.
You fought against Oliver McCall as well. It didn't go your way, but
No.
it was like very early in your professional boxing career against someone of that
just
stature.
little things that he did, just the experience that he had. Like, you just grabbed my elbow just to turn me, take and punch me. Like, I never even knew that. But he'd always grab my elbow and just sort of just move me.
Turn you around,
Just turn my body. But it just comes with experience.
Yeah.
But at the time, I'd fought, as long as I got paid.
Yeah.
And I didn't care
You were happy to fight anyway.
I didn't care if I went to sleep. As long as I wake up and my bank balance is ticking over because of all the kids. That's all I was worried about.
Yeah.
I don't care who I fight, just pay me.
Sounds like you're still that way though.
Yeah. Well, I am.
Yeah.
Like I said, I fought Lucas Brown on 2 days' notice. But
And you wobbled him in the first round of that fight too.
Yeah. Well, I did. No, I thought I was going to get him, but I didn't.
Yeah.
He got me in the second, and I was too unfit. I was out 2 days preparation, but.
Couple of bad knockouts there in a row, Paul Gallen and then Lucas Brown. Is that it for you? You done or
No.
no?
Oh, I'll say yeah, but if someone offers you money, no, I'll say yes.
Yeah.
Those are my kids eat.
Yeah.
You got other kids that are going to be able to help the kids eat now, mate. Got to look after yourself.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah,
But
come on, mate.
they got, but the other ones that are, I got one at home, but the other ones still got their own families to look after too. So. I'm the manager and I get 90%, they get 10%.
That's a good deal. Hoppa was fantastic in the build up to that Paul Gallen fight. The just the back and forth and leading that sort of, it comes very naturally to you, that side of boxing.
Yeah, and it wasn't my game plan. Just it wasn't my night. I got there and did nothing.
People don't realise Gal's a tough little. He's a tough guy. Who, like if you punch with him, you're in trouble. If you wait and let him miss and then punch these guys, it's different. But these guys, they all try to punch with him and stuff. And he's a strong guy.
Yeah, and he'd been training consistently as well, whereas Hop had not.
Yeah, had not, and
You had 9 years off before you had the
11.
Gallen for 11 years.
It's a decent break.
Yeah.
No. Sorry.
9 years, yeah.
But as I said, dollar signs. I'm fighting anyone.
Yeah.
So what do you do now? Like you're obviously talking about these fighting events and stuff like that, but what do you do now for a job?
Just do my best.
Yeah.
I don't really have a job. I got a mate that owns a panel beater shop. There's and he does Ferraris and Maseratis. So he's got me down there. I don't even know what I do, but
Hopefully he knows.
he just
you're good company, mate. They like
Good
you around.
company,
That's
yes.
it. Believe me.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But I guess that
Everybody needs a hopper around.
Well, that's right. It helps that everyone knows your background, you sort of managed to find stuff as a result. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
And you know what the great thing is, I'll say it again, it's here we are asking him all these questions, but he's super proud of everything that he's done. And like I said, he'd do it all again. And they're the kind of people you want around. That's why people have him around.
Yeah.
And if the media want to keep him in the paper, whether they do or not, people will still want Hoppa around. Hoppa's a loyal guy, and that's something that you can't pay for in the world, and you can't find, you know. But he's old school, and that's why he's liked, and he was more than liked. He's loved by a lot of people, and you know, I congratulate him, take my hat off to him, because, like I said, I've heard the stories, I know all about him. You know, I've been there, I've done it all. But Hoppa's one of the guys that's very, very highly respected by everybody, whether you're a football player, whether you're a bikie, but there he's respected. It's important.
What do you think's made you successful, Hoppa? Obviously, successful rugby league career. Obviously, successful boxing career post rugby league, Australian champion.
I just don't like to fail. I like to, if I'm doing something, I want to give it 100%. I don't want to fail. I don't like people to say, "Oh, he was freaking hopeless," or "Why is he doing this for?" I don't like to fail. I always try to put my right foot forward and try and make something of it. If I'm doing something, I'm doing it 100%.
Yeah.
I don't do it half-hearted because then it's a waste of time.
And you instilled that in your kids?
Yeah, well, my kids, they see me train, and they all sort of, they all got talent there, but they all pretty much the same.
It's different today. I mean, like I said, the game's different, you know. I mean, where he was just, you can't tell his kids to do what he done, you know. So he's got to be smart, let them just go through the other avenues that people are going through today. Like I said, back in the day, when like I said, put his finger on somebody's backside, if we called somebody something, it was nothing. Today, you're banned for life, you know. And these kids got families and people look after themselves. So I think the world's just changed. And to be honest, I'm not even sure it's for the better. I don't believe it's for the better. I think the world's in a shit place at the time. And look at this COVID shit and the way we've handled it all, and we can't do what we want to do anymore, and now they're trying to get rid of cash, and it's crazy. We live in a crazy world where people want to dictate to us, and that's where Hoppa came from before. He's never been dictated to, so I can imagine things are hard for him today.
Yeah, but my kids, they've always seen me train, and they've come up training, and I've never had to push them to go train. They always did it themselves, and even now the boys will come when they come home. They all go and train together. But I was hard on them when they played footy. As kids, don't waste my time. If I'm coming to watch you, you better have a dig, because if you get a whistle or your name gets called after the game, don't worry about your team huddle. You come in the car, you're getting your own huddle, and I used to whack my kids a few times. Don't waste my time. I got 7 boys to go watch, so if I'm coming to watch you. You're gonna have to go. You had to score 5-6 tries, as long as you're getting involved.
10 or 12,
but just don't waste my time when I could be watching someone else. Yeah. If you're doing nothing, you're gonna get a slap.
What's the age range in your kids? What's the oldest?
Will's 27, 28.
Yeah,
and then my youngest is 2.
Okay, and more to come, or
no? That's it. Well,
I think you've said this before, though.
We're hoping not. Anyway. Not for anything, but just.
Do you know what's causing it yet? Or?
Yeah, well, I had the pull-out method, and it was, and I thought I was going one pump to me. Just going half a pump, it becomes a full pump.
Maths is not your strong point.
Yeah, so but the number 11 was just out of the blue. Like I was firing away for like 3-4 years, and there was nothing.
You thought they were blanks?
Yeah, well, I thought they just had Christmas balls only there for decoration. But they still worked. And all of a sudden, number 11, because my number 10 was 6 years old at the time. And number 11 came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So, but she's 2 now, and I'm still firing, nothing happens. So hopefully there's nothing left.
Are you a practicing Mormon nowadays?
Yeah.
What does that mean? What is your religion?
It's just another Christianity form, and we don't smoke, we don't drink. We believe in God.
Yep.
It's just, as I said, it's just another Christianity.
Do you go to church with the family, or?
Yep. Yeah, my wife makes me go to church.
Oh yeah.
So you have happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, for sure.
But we go every Sunday. And the best thing about this COVID, I think, was that we have to have church at home, you know.
And you were God at the time.
And of the kids, who do you think is going to turn out to be the best of the footy players?
Oh, I don't know if anyone's going to be better than anyone. They're just better at different things than the other person. But Will's just because he's just calm. He's never angry. He's got good hands. With Jamil, he'll work. He'll go all game. He never stops. You think he's busted, but he'll still push. And then Albert is just, who's just come up now. He's probably better runner and stronger than the other two, but just I can't say.
What do you put that down to then? What would you put that down to? Is it because of the different training techniques today, or
no? I don't think there's different training techniques. It's just the way they were made.
Yep.
Genetically. Will's just calm nature. I remember under 15s, he was playing Aaron Matthews, and this kid kept on dropping the elbow on him. And I wasn't getting angry at the kid, I was getting angry at Will because he wasn't doing nothing. And I said to him at half time, I said, listen, you're pissing me off. At least push him back or do something, because if you don't do nothing, the kid's going to keep on doing it all game. Because that's right, Dad, I'll just score tries on him. And which he did, he scored 4 tries on his kid. Right. And I said, good work, son. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about me.
Yeah, right. Any of them turn out to be a boxer, do you reckon?
I think Albert, he started doing it a bit, and he looks pretty good. Okay.
Is Dino training him?
Dino's had a few sessions with him, but he just trains him mainly. Okay. When he can, because of footy. And my girls are better than the boys. They're just more coordinated.
That's all right.
Yes.
Everyone's got a different opinion of John Hopoate, but how would you describe yourself?
Well, all the people that know me, I have to say they like me because I'm straightforward.
They don't have a choice. I like you, John.
But I'm not a mug. I'm a mug if you're a mug to me. I don't take crap, but I'm nice. You know, I don't like to make people feel, if I know them, make them feel down, or, you know, I try and pick them up, and I don't. I have to say I'm easygoing. People like me for what I am, and I say what I want. Sometimes I shouldn't say what I want sometimes, but I just do. And I'm nice to everyone. Yeah. And my old man always brought me up like that. Be nice to everyone, because on your way up, if you're nice to him, on your way down, you're going to be nice back. So there's a lot of people start going up and to make a name of themselves, and they forget about the people that they grew up with. Everyone just brushes you. Yeah. So I'm nice to everyone, unless you're not nice to me.
Yeah.
Do you think you're mellowing in your older age now? Or you're starting to chill out a bit more, or?
Oh, maybe I don't smack the kids as much, but no, I don't think so.
Okay.
Like I'm still laid back, but if someone pisses me off.
What do you think about rugby league today, Hop? What do you think about the game today?
Great athletes, and the game's a lot faster than that, but just the way they've been taught now these days. When I played, if you got injured, you tried your best to get on the field. With these guys, they play and they get a bump and they say, I might have a week off. And it's just the way they're brought up. They're nowhere near as hard as when we played, but they're 100 times more physical and more better skilled. But just I think it's just the way the leagues turn the game, which is sort of good. But at the same time, I wish sometimes I just let them punch on.
Yeah, I think that's a generational thing. We all sort of think that, don't we?
When you hear the crowd cheer the most, when you're having a punch on, and people get injured, then both teams get angry and
especially with State of Origin.
Yeah,
people look forward to it.
When I was playing, if we were getting flogged, I said, someone start a fight. Because if we start a fight, then both teams are angry and you're just trying to rip each other's head off, and then it sort of stops them. But but they don't do it anymore. I wish they did.
What was the most memorable blue that you had on a rugby league field?
I'd have to say that the State of Origin one with Danny Moore, because he was my teammate at Manly. Yeah. But, I keep on telling everyone, he was my teammate at Manly, and I love him to death. But
how were you guys after that fight? Was he okay?
Yeah. Well, I was embarrassed because we went back to the nightclub and his wife was there and I was just embarrassed because I fought him. But as soon as we got to training, Bob Fulton put the fight on and just kept on replaying so everyone could see. But, that's the way I was. I'm your teammate today, but if I'm against you next day, I'm going to take you out. Unless you're one of the brothers that I grew up, like Solomon Amano, Chuck, and then we grew up as kids, so I'll never do anything to them. They're my boys. Yep. But anyone else.
What if they're in the maroon jersey, Oh,
no, I can't. Blood's thicker than water. So they're my boys. I'll never do anything to them.
Who do you think wins the comp this year?
I'd have to say Melbourne. They're just such a good team. Just everything they do, just real clinical. They're a real good team. Them were the Roosters, but I'm leaning more towards Melbourne.
Isn't it funny how Bellamy can put somebody in that side and they look like they played 200 games, like the fullback over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah,
last week.
freakish.
Wow, unbelievable.
Well, he does. When I was at the Tigers, Danny Lima, is it Danny Lima? Second row.
Yeah.
Well, he was at the Tigers. He was reserved for reserve grade. He went to Melbourne the following year, became an international player.
Yeah, killed them there.
So he just turns all these players that weren't sort of anything.
What do you think your secret is that? What do you think? Why do you think Bellamy can do that?
I don't know. He just makes them accountable for everything. So they say that the player might be over here and you're standing over here and you're not doing nothing. He blows you up, even though you're not in the play. But if you're not ready to run to back someone up or you're not doing anything, you're the one that gets hammered. So it makes them accountable for everything they do. And I think the boys just know that that's why it's so hard on them being accountable, and they just try and live up to his standards. And that's why they say good, because there's some guys that he brings in, you think this guy's hopeless, but turns him into world beaters.
You played under a lot of coaches. You've mentioned Bob Fulton, who's probably the most influential on you. Were there any that their style didn't quite gel with what you're about?
Well, they're all good coaches. They're all good in their own different ways, but I just have to say Bob Fulton was the best coach. He was real respectful. He let us, when I was playing, we did a lot of drinking, and we played a lot of drinking games, and we played at training, we played a lot of games to buy, who was shouting. He made us all happy. Everyone was happy. Yeah. And he always made the senior players happy. So he'll say, we've got training at 10 o'clock, and one of the senior players go, Bob, I've got golf. A couple of us are playing golf. Can you make it later? And you go, okay, we'll make it later. He just made everyone happy. And but I don't think he's the best coach I've ever been coached by. But I would have loved to be coached under Wayne Bennett.
Yeah, I tell people that I think that Wayne Bennett, well, obviously Bellamy's there now, but Wayne Bennett, to be able to keep the Brisbane Broncos for all those years under control, having the players that he had, it's got to be an amazing human, a great people's person that can control people. And that's half the battle. If you can control those people, control those egos, and think of Broncos team, little Alfie and those guys. No, Alfie's my great friend, but for him to be able to keep them on the straight and narrow for so long.
He had so many internationals in his team. He always had their own egos. But they say he's a people's person. Yeah. And you can manage him off the field. See,
that's exactly right. He doesn't just care about how you're playing footy. He cares about what you do in your life, because what you do in your life is going to make what you're doing at training better and make it easier. And so I think I'd say he's the best.
Yeah. You still in contact with some of your old teammates?
Yeah, we try to go, the ones I played with, we try to go to have Chinese every couple of months. Like we all get together and go have Chinese. But yeah, there's about it. If I don't see them around the field, on the roads, and we meet up every couple of months and go have Chinese.
Yep. Beautiful.
All right.
Well, thanks, Hop. We appreciate you coming in and having a chat with us today.
Yeah, Hop. On my behalf, because kind of on the face of this podcast, I'm really honoured to have you here, because, like I said, I've known you for a long time. John is my great friend again. I'll bring him up, and I just speaks so much about you. And as far as I'm concerned, I want to just say one thing: the reason why you've got everything you've got is not just because you work hard, because you're one loyal soldier, mate. And that's what we don't have in the world today. Loyalty is everything. As far as I'm concerned, loyalty is more important than anything, and that's what you are.
Thank you, mate. And I'm big on that loyalty, and it means a lot coming from this bloke because I used to love him as a kid watching the boxing, and to come from someone like him, it means a lot.
Cheers, Hop.
Great having
Thanks,
you, my
Hop.
brother.
Thank you, boys. Thank you for having me.
Don't forget to subscribe, Standing 8, YouTube, Apple Podcast and Spotify.